Hi, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Let's Talk About Markets episode number 65. If we see the Nifty index today, it was dull. I mean, that has been the case for the last 2, 3 days now. And we are, kind of sitting at the edge of, some trending move that is likely to come. That is what I feel. But, whatever levels that we need to watch, I think we'll talk a bit more about that. But the main thing is that, I mean, in the last 2 to 3 days, whatever we have spoken, that all holds true, and there is no major shift as such in thinking as of now. But let's watch what is happening in the sectors, and let's watch what is happening in the Nifty index, and let us see like what are the things that we need to watch to confirm what is likely to happen next. Okay, so let me just quickly share my screen. If someone can please confirm if they are able to see my screen properly and if they are able to hear me. Okay, please put a comment in the chat box. uh, if you all are able to hear me properly and see my screen, then please put a comment in the chat box so that we can get started. Okay, thanks, Dinesh. So yeah, when we look at the Nifty index, basically, since past 2 to 3 days, we have been talking about this channel. Okay, I mean, the Nifty index is trading within, I mean, in this channel. So, whether you draw it here or draw it a little lower, connecting the lower channel, I mean, that is how Nifty is at this point of time. Now, over here, when we were over here, so I had mentioned that since the RMI is in sell, so there is a chance that there can be some pullback or consolidation, and that leads to RMI going back to the zero. And then after, we need to look how things unfold. So as we speak now, what is happening is that it has not broken this low, and over here the RMI is trying to turn around. Okay, but still, I mean, even if the RMI gives a bullish crossover in tomorrow's trading session, what we need to look out for is close above the daily averages and a close above the channel. So which now roughly comes to around 26,000 level. So the upper end of the falling channel is around 26,000, and the other important resistance level, if we do a Fibonacci retracement from high to low, so that comes to somewhere around 26,080, 85, or something like that. So broadly, as you all are aware, we are talking about this point, right? 26,050 to 26,100. That is an important resistance zone. In fact, today, one interesting thing that happened was that, during the day, it had broken the 40-day significantly. By the end, there was some recovery. Nevertheless, I mean, still, it has closed below the 40-day exponential average. So this is a bit of a problem. We just need to see how things unfold. Now, one more thing. Now, see, I mean, I don't want to sound biased, but one of the thing that I'm also looking out for is Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty is one of the important component of Nifty, and over there, if you end up seeing, there is some kind of falling wedge pattern that is unfolding. Okay, so this, you can see that the falling wedge pattern is unfolding. So I am still not how do we say, I'm still not convinced that the markets can go down significantly as of now. One of the reason, as I told you, is the Bank Nifty index, which seems to be forming this falling wedge pattern. And the other thing that, if you see, is that it has touched the lower band, and almost the cycle is now complete over here. And more importantly, it is trading above the 40-day exponential average as well. Okay, So it is the bank nifty, and the other thing if you see is Reliance is consolidating, but over here also you can see that the bands are tightening, right? So uh, to immediately fall, see a big fall, that looks unlikely. So now with Reliance and bank nifty kind of forming 40-45% of the nifty index. I mean, when both of them are not pointing out towards any significant correction, that is why I'm feeling that maybe we may not end up getting a significant correction. But what I cannot rule out is possibly something like this happening and then moving higher. Okay, I mean, this is something that risk prevails, but falling very dramatically, I mean, at this point of time, at least I'm not thinking that way. I would only think about it that way if Reliance say ends up closing below the 40-day exponential average, and Bank Nifty ends up closing below the 40-day exponential average, and more importantly it breaks down instead of breaking out, then these will be the warning signs. And one last thing that is again, so see, broadly I'm trying to tell you what are the warning signs that you need to look out for. Okay, so I am not necessarily fixating to any level right now, because there are a lot of variations that are happening. So you see bank nifty over here, right? You see the PSU bank, it is the, sorry, nifty PSU bank, it is the ideal setup that you would want, right? A pullback towards the 40 holding, and now daily RMI is on the verge of giving a bullish crossover. So if the 20-day breaks, then over here the idea would be that new high should come. So I'm not sure, frankly, and even I'm not convinced that if at all the breakdown happens, then it would be decisive. I mean, at that point of time I was trying to think that if the 40-day breaks, then we should be open to a deeper correction. I mean, as of now, the only thing that I am thinking is that maybe a correction towards this 25,600 is possible, but not beyond that. I mean, that is how I'm thinking at this point of time. But if at all, say, this trend line continues to hold, then we may see a correction towards the 25,600 level. So India VIX has gone below 9 levels, right? I mean, it hasn't often happened, and whenever it touches this line, it at least tells you that somewhere some trending move is likely, which means the volatility is now going to pick up. Now, uh, now see the, so that is why I'm saying that watch out for all those red flags that I've shown you, which is that bank nifty, then basically bank nifty respecting the 40-day. As long as that happens, we are okay. Reliance above this zone, we are okay. India VIX, supposingly if it starts shooting higher, and all these charts which are the major component of nifty index, if they start breaking down, then you need to worry. Okay, so to be very honest, I'm at the edge right now, because there are few things that seems to be looking good, there are few things that are still weak and not sort of showing signs of a turnaround, like you see over here. Then the other thing which also kind of scares me a bit is this one, mid cap index. So it has retraced 61.8%, and from there it is turning down. So I mean, the signals are very mixed, and that's where I'm trying to find out more cues as to what should we concentrate on, where we can end up getting some decisive thoughts of the market. At this point of time, the market is neither breaking out, neither breaking down, and that is why when it moves up, it feels like okay, now it is taking support and it should break out. And when it goes down, then those risk fear, I mean, those risks come that you might end up getting that deeper correction. Is that possible or no? So that's where, I mean, frankly, I'm at the edge. And for nifty index also, it's a very tight range, right? So on the upside, ideally it would be 26,100. If that breaks, I mean, if that is broken decisively on the upside, then I would think that probably that up move that is much anticipated is starting now. Let me just tell you the scenario that what happens if those breakdown occurs. Okay, I mean, see, I'm discussing with you all these scenarios so that if at all that happens, you be prepared. So one thing that is for sure, and I mean, I have no doubt about that, is that all the medium term indicators that we look out for. Okay, there is. I've not saved the medium term setup, I guess. Mm, okay. So, anyways, so all the medium term setups that we look at, that is client plus FI, that is at an extreme. DIIs, that is at an extreme. FIIs, that is also towards the lower end. And they in the last few days, I mean, since the start of December, they have been shorting from 87,000. Now the shorts are again back to 1,57,000. So, you know one risk that I see right now, I mean, as of now, I don't have this confirmation, but maybe the risk would be that, falling towards these level where again, you know, all these things ends up going to an extreme and only after that breaking out. So this is kind of the testing, I mean, patience testing game that is going on. Uh, so the broader view of Nifty eventually rising higher to 28,000, 29,000, sometime next year, I don't think that is ruled out. The only thing that even I am trying to figure it out is that, whether we move from here or we correct and then we move from here. That is the only doubt, frankly, I'm having. And unfortunately, I'm not getting any signals to confirm this now, because now see, as I told you, right? Wait, for the Nifty index, what I mentioned to you was, whether are we gonna turn around from here, or are we gonna fall here and then turn around? So that is where my doubt is, right? So I think if at all those bigger decline comes, I mean, maybe say till 24,500 or so, then all this indicator which are in the middle, they might end up getting to an extreme, and that's where maybe we might end up getting those powerful calls. But as I was telling you yesterday, there are a lot of things that are somewhere in the middle, and that is where we are not able to take that call. I mean, thumb the table and take that call that whether the move is gonna I mean, we are going to see move from here only or from lower levels. Now see, in the short term, I was very much confident that somewhere around these levels a turnaround can happen, from where we got those 2 days move. That is because if we see the small cap index, right, it had gone to such lower levels in terms of percentage of stock, about 20 SMA. Then even in RMI, the small cap index, it had gone to the oversold. Then we had swing reading in oversold. So there were confluence of indicators that were coming into oversold zone all at the same time, right? Now those conditions are not prevailing anymore, and that is where the doubt is coming. So we'll have to be patient with that setup. But yes, I mean, see, as long as we don't get those confirmation on the upside, we have to be open of correction happening, and especially in small cap, where it has still not reached the lower end. I mean, can it reach the lower end? That is what is an open-ended question right now, because over here, it did attempt to break above the 40-day exponential average, but it unfortunately could not sustain above it. And that is where all this risk opens up. So so yes, I mean, this is what it is. There are some sectors, like I told you, I mean, IT, they are holding above averages. Auto was holding above the averages, but there is some signs of weakness that we are seeing. But again, if the 40-day exponential decisively breaks on the downside, then it's a worry. Else, this sideways consolidation that we are seeing in the market can continue, and only after that it might end up picking up. But as I told you, PSU Bank, on the other hand, is now trying. is now, sort of giving us a promising setup. Of course, we need to wait and see if the 20-day breaks. If that breaks, then I think new high and further up move is likely. So it's a very, very mixed situation at this point of time. I mean, pharma, just taking support at the 40-day and holding out. FMCG, I thought that it might move up, but again, it has found resistance around the 40-day exponential average, and it is in this tight range. So, whether this consolidates over here, and do time pass over here and only then move higher, or does it, actually breaks the range on the downside. So, over here also, we don't have any confirmation as such. Metals, so far it is trading above the falling channel, which is a good sign. So over here as well, I mean, as long as the daily averages are held, ideally the expectation will be that this was just a minor degree consolidation, and now, it is ready to move higher. So yes, I mean, that way, as I mentioned, watch out for the factors. The three most important thing that I'm watching out for is Bank Nifty, what it does with this, wedge pattern which is there. India VIX, India VIX, what it does, especially if the India VIX starts spiking, okay, then I'll be a little worried, uh, because then, I would think that, since we are at the lower end, and repeatedly in the past also from lower end, a lot of, I mean, VIX has shot up, and usually VIX, whenever it shoots up, it actually results into market going down, because that's where the volatility starts increasing. So as long as the VIX is down, it is okay. But if VIX also starts shooting higher, then Bank Nifty, ends up breaking the support level. Reliance also ends up breaking the this averages. Then, we need to be a little more careful. So yes, this is what we have. Unfortunately, I'm sorry that, I'm not able to give you that clear view. But even, every day, even I am thinking, what is it? I mean, what are the clues that we are getting? Through which we can be a little more decisive. So as of now, it is all mixed. I mean, signals that we are getting. So that's the reason I told you what are the things that you need to watch. I think probably if we end up getting those confirmation, then somewhere it will help us to be a little more convinced of where the move is. Because to be very honest, uh, I mean, when sentiment indicators are such, I mean, it has been prolonged. It has been this prolonged, I mean, in this oversold zone for a very, very long time. I've frankly not seen it this way. But all I know is that, when the sentiments are so bad, it is not wise to uh, turn outright bearish, if at all you are not getting confirmations, because, these things eventually resolve on the upside. And that was the reason why I was telling that, will Nifty do something like this and then move on, or will it correct and then move on? So this is the question, we are trying to, uh, I mean, this is the puzzle that we are trying to solve. And let's fully, in the coming days, maybe we should be able to see that. So so yeah, I mean, those are the thoughts for now. I mean, in fact, if you all have any, I mean, if you are watching anything and which gives you a little more certainty about the move, then please do share it to me. Maybe I'll try and, work on that and think how it has worked in the past, and, how to think about those indicators which you say. I mean, it will also help me to get a perspective. So yeah, I think that is it for today. If you all have any questions, please let me know. And in fact, I'm looking for your, answers or suggestion, that what are you all looking, and and how are you all thinking about the market, and if at all you have a very firm view, then what is that thing that you're watching that is giving you that firm view, then please share it. In RMI scanners, so many stocks are coming, but which one you take, can you explain? So see, Ramesh, I'll try to explain you today since we have time. See, broadly, you have to look for the stocks where they are trading above the 40-day exponential average and they have been trending higher. Okay. Ideally, those are the list of stocks that you might want to see. Okay. Now, see, for example, 3P, there is a bullish crossover, but the average is not broken on the upside. So you will avoid this, right? Now, see, I'm just trying to randomly take, some stuff. So it is agar industry, again the same thing. Crossover has happened, but it is below the averages, so it can be risky. Because please remember that if at all the RMI is below the averages and you end up getting a crossover, there is a chance that there will be a positive divergence, and only then things can turn around. So if at all there are no divergence and the prices are below the averages, then it will not necessarily work out pretty well. Say, mm, Now, see, something like this can still be considered. I mean, ideally, I would have loved to see if this was trending higher pretty well, but nevertheless, you can see that up move consolidation uh, around the 40, and now the turnaround has happened. Now, of course, it has turned 15% higher today. Maybe you might want to wait for a pullback so that you get a risk reward, you get a better risk reward. But ideally, these are the setups that you might want to see. uh, so there was one setup that Okay, now see Aether Energy again. There is a mild bullish crossover that we have seen, but maybe once you see the momentum picking up over here, which means you end up seeing an up move or a green candle, then maybe keeping this swing low as the reversal, you can try and take those trades, or you can wait for this trend line to break on the upside. And because if this trend line breaks, then of course this bullish signal in the RMI would indicate that momentum is now picking up, so breakout will be a further confirmation of that, right? Atul, no. Yeah, now this chart, whichever it is, yeah, Bank of India. Now see, this is a good chart. Okay, in this case, basically this low should ideally be the reversal point, and over here you can see that there is a bullish crossover now happening, right? And the if the 20-day is broken on the upside, then again, I mean, I would expect that probably this new high will be taken out. Okay, so maybe in such cases you might want to build your position, buy some over here and buy more when you get that final confirmation of 20-day also breaking on the upside. So basically what happens is that both the price, I mean, the prices are above both the averages, and then there is a bullish crossover. So those are typically very good setups that you need to look at. Say something like Bharti Airtel also, you can see up move pullback, there is a crossover that has happened, and it is almost at the 20-day. If it sustains above the 20-day one more time, then maybe you can take 40-day as your reversal point, or the low as your reversal point, and try to be on the bullish side. But the idea is that the prior trend should be up and prices should be above the averages. Those are the things that you should ideally need to look out for. Mandar says, can we find where FI promoters? So at this point of time, we don't have that scanner, but we are working on it. There are many new exciting things that are going to come, in the coming months. I mean, in the coming weeks probably. So one is, a lot of improvement that we have done in Trading View. All of the indicators will be available anywhere. So you don't now have to go to specialized screens, right? I mean, for future open interest, you had to go to specifically to future open interest screen and then see it, right? Now, all those indicators will bring it to the dashboard. I mean, those are the things that have been already worked on, and we are doing it screen by screen. So those are the ones, and in fact, the fundamental scanners have also been worked parallelly. Okay, so there also, all those things are going on. There are some modifications that we are doing to bring better results in the filters. So we are optimizing those filters and so on, and those work is going those are the work that is going on. And I think once those things are done, and we get proper results, speed, everything, we are good to launch that. But be rest assured that a lot of work is going on over there, because we are doing this now because simultaneously we are also building the mobile app, right? So all this will all this will help us to even quickly bring those things in the mobile app as well. So all those work is going on. So just wait for maybe few weeks or a couple of months, and you would see a lot of exciting things coming on strike. At this point, I mean, largely earlier I was refraining to say anything because there was work going on, but there was there was no end to the tunnel. But now I can probably say a little more confidently that we are just maybe few weeks or a couple of months away from joining those things. So I mean, from doing those things on a live basis, I mean, testing it, and then moving to the actual version that we have. So just wait for some time. Checker Trader says, "Sir, join today only. How to choose good stocks for swing trading?" Checker, please go to Strike. There is something called as momentum swing. Okay, I mean, that will help you for swing trading, for the Nifty index specifically. Okay, just go over there, go to this icon over here. The momentum swing is explained. You can go over there. Apart from that, there are a lot of videos that we have put, that will be helpful for you to see. I cannot explain you the entire concept over here, because we have specifically uh, done a lot of things in detail. Okay, so please take some time out and check those videos. After that, after you have some idea about what are those indicators about, then it will be easy for me to sort your doubts. So please go through that. Nifty 500, Nifty total, anyways, does not get traded, right? I mean, if you want to find stocks within that, then of course there is a basket that has been given. So if you go to scanners, you go to RMI or any scanner for that matter. I mean, if you want to see which are the stocks that are crossing about 20 in the basket, say Nifty 500, right? So you simply choose the basket over here, Nifty 500, and you will see the results. So it is, so these are the stocks that are crossing above the 20. And see over here, just make sure to choose the result correctly. Okay, so here you do, and you will get those results. So please explore this. And apart from that, there is basket that is already given, so you can choose your respective basket, whichever you want to see, and you will be able to see the results. Any other questions you all have? I've tried to clarify all those that I can see in the chat right now. But any other questions? Sadly, it's a very dull market. Else we could have talked about a lot of things, but none of the sectors are moving. Nothing is happening actually. When will commodity get introduced? No, I can't tell you that, Mandar. It is probably long time away. Not anytime soon, at least, because there are a lot of things that we want to focus right now on, in terms of building new features as well. So So there are a lot of stuff that we are doing. I mean, demand supply, scanners, and all those things. Those are all the things that we are working in the pipeline. I mean, and there's a long list which is there. Once that is done, I think then we can think of introducing commodities, because before introducing commodities, we also want to bring BSC first, right? And after that, we'll do all those things. Mm. Yes, I just mentioned in the discussion. I think yes, you came late, right? So Nifty Auto, if you see, basically it is holding above the averages. So that is the good part. All we need to see is a bit of a momentum picking up. Maybe a break of this trend line can bring back that momentum. So that's what we need to see. Someone asked PSU Bank. I mentioned right at the start that PSU Bank is also looking interesting because the RMI is gonna come in a bullish zone, and it has been respecting the 40-day average, right, pretty well. So I think once the PSU Bank starts sustaining above the 20-day exponential, I mean 20-day simple moving average, I think we'll end up seeing a pretty good action over here. So Ramesh says, what will you suggest for intraday traders? So see, to be very honest, I mean, I am not good at intraday, nor I would suggest that. The only thing that I can say is that maybe uh, for intraday, I don't know honestly. I mean, see, we are working on bringing those lower time frame RMI scanners. I'm not sure if that would be helpful because I have never traded on that, uh, or you know I have not traded on that, and I have not experienced that, so I cannot tell you. But I mean, see, the concept across is the same, right? Which means that you would want to find the stocks which are above the averages and so on. Maybe you can go down to the lower time frame of 5 minutes, 15 minutes, for which we are already working on. Those time frames will come soon. When those new releases come. So in that, we have gone down to as low as 5 minutes. So 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes are the three more time frames that are going to get introduced, in the scanners. So maybe that would then help you. Uh, Checker says how. So before building strike, I mean, Rohit sir had coded this in Trading View. So because we do our research on Trading View, that's why I have. But I mean, yeah, if you want it, you can ask the sales guys. You can put in a query over here of help, then raise a ticket, and you can ask for, you want RMI on TradingView. So there is some amount that you will have to give. That will be a one-time charge, and you'll get a permanent access to TradingView. I mean, to RMI on TradingView. So yeah, that is there. Nifty in USD chart indicates a breakout or a breakdown form. Actually, okay. See, in USD term, I mean, we are getting some wild move over here as well. Frankly, I'm not seeing that much the Nifty USD chart. I'm focusing more on this chart, and frankly, I mean, if you ask me, the gut feeling says that this is kind of, I mean, so while we are not discussing yield wave count, but I've put some counts over here, and it tells me that there is still one more leg on the upside that is still pending for the bank Nifty. So that's where I'm watching these kind of things very closely, Reliance Bank Nifty, and not focusing much on the USD chart, because that anyways does not give me a very strong perspective. I mean, because we would want to trade on this, right? The Nifty ka rupee wala chart. So anyways, I think it's 5:35 now. So let's wind up the session, and let's hope that we end up getting some breakout or a breakdown somewhere, or some confirmation of a trending move. So that would be the hope, and let's see. Let's catch up tomorrow and see what new happens in the Nifty index.